Radha Ramana Hari Govind Jai Jai.
Been talking about Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Rai Ramananda. So I want to relate something about the lifetime of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Our sampradaya, our succession, disciplic succession, is coming from Lord Brahma, through Vyasadeva and Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya is the leader of our sampradaya. And then through Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So we're coming in line from Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radhika. Or Krishna looking for the mood of Srimati Radhika. So it means that he's like Radha, he is Radha and Krishna combined. But he's appearing in our line as Guru. Very wonderful. He's appearing as his own devotee in great humility, not even himself thinking that he's the Supreme Lord. So, he appeared just over 500 years ago. His appearance is predicted in the Vedic Shastras, and some Upanishads, different Shastras. It said that his golden colour, that he'll spread the Sankirtan movement, he'll be born in Nadia, his mother will be Shachi. All these ways he's identified in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tviza Krishna, Sangopangastra Parshadam. That he's Krishna Varnam Tviza Krishna. He's Krishna, but he's Akrishna. His complexion is Akrishna, is golden. And he's glorifying the holy name of Krishna. Described in Srimad Bhagavatam. And in Mahabharata it's described how his body is golden and he'll take to the sannyas order. So he was born at the time of an eclipse, and at that time everybody was chanting Hare Krishna. All the Hindus were chanting Hare Krishna because at the time of eclipse it's an inauspicious time according to the Vedic understanding. So they're taking bath in Ganga and they're chanting Hare Krishna. And the Muslims going, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So everyone's chanting Hare Krishna. Everyone. Somehow or another. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu, in this way, he showed that his business was spreading the holy name. He was so beautiful, transcendently beautiful. Like Krishna. More than Krishna, actually. Because Krishna is very beautiful. Srimati Radharani is very beautiful. But when they're combined, Lord Chaitanya is more beautiful or more merciful either than Krishna or than Srimati Radharani. When he was a young baby, he'd cry and cry. And the ladies found out the only way to keep him happy was to chant Hare Krishna. So they'd chant Hare Krishna and clap, and then he'd laugh. And then after a while they'd stop, and then he'd cry, and then they'd chant Hare Krishna and clap, and then he'd laugh again. In this way he kept everybody engaged in Sankirtan. When he grew up, he was very naughty. Actually, he was like delinquent, juvenile delinquent. He used to play so many tricks. When the Brahmanas were taking bath, big Brahmanas are taking bath in Ganga, he'd dive under the water, he'd grab their legs so he's a crocodile. Scare them like anything. Or they'd take bath and come out to chant their mantras, and he'd come and squirt water over them. And they think, I've taken bath, now I'm impure. But actually they'd be just being bathed from the lips of the pure Lord, the Supreme Lord. He did so many naughty things. Then he became a very expert scholar. And very arrogant, very proud. He had his own school. And he would, at that time, he wasn't acting like Vaishnava. There were Vaishnavas in Mayapur, Navadvip at that time. And they used to think, Nimai Pandit, his name was Nimai. Nimai, who's born under a neem tree, and neem keeps witches away. So Advaitacharya's consort, Sita Devi, she gave him this name, Nimai. So Nimai Pandit, they used to say, the devotees used to say, if only Nimai would become a Vaishnava, it would be so wonderful. They were praying that he would become Vaishnava. And he'd meet them in the road and challenge them to logical debates, defeat them, and in the end they'd all avoid him. And when he saw them running, he'd laugh and say, one day I'll become a great Vaishnava and you'll see. So he, after some time, his father passed away, Jagannath Mishra. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu, after some time, he went to Gaya. This is tradition that Hindus go to Gaya to offer pinda for the souls of their departed ancestors, family members. So he went to Gaya, and there he met with Sri Ishwara Puripad. Ishwara Puripad was a very, very great devotee, very ecstatic devotee. He was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri, he's the first one in our line who actually showed spontaneous Braj Bhav. Before that, it was regulated bhakti. And then Madhavendra Puripad, he was mad in love for Krishna. Mad. He was wandering in Braj, didn't even know if it was day or night. Totally absorbed in chanting and remembering Krishna's pastimes. So Ishwara Puripad, he was his disciple. And then Caitanya Mahaprabhu met with Shri Ishwara Puri, and he asked him to give him Diksha. So Ishwara Puri gave him Diksha, and Nimai Pandit went mad. He became totally intoxicated. He changed completely. He went mad in love for Krishna. He came back to Mayapur, crying, rolling on the ground. Where's Krishna? Can you show me Krishna? He goes, wow, he's become Vaishnava. And such a Vaishnava. So much love. We've never seen this before. So Nimai became very, very humble Vaishnava. He was serving the devotees, doing the washing, like this. Then after some time, he decided it was time to reveal that actually he's the Supreme Lord. So it was great drama. And one day when the Muslims, there was a great crisis, the Muslims were coming because Nimai Pandit was chanting Hare Krishna so much with his followers. So the Muslims are coming. And Srivas Thakur, who was the leader of the Vaishnavas, he was in so much anxiety for the other devotees who was worshipping Srinivas. And Mahaprabhu, he decided, now's the time, I'll show them. He came running to Srivas Thakur and said, bam, on the gate, wham, wham, Srivas, I'm the one you're worshipping, I'm the one. Come worship me. Have some water. So after this, then gradually all the devotees came to know that Nimai Pandit, he's the Supreme Lord, he's Lord Chaitanya. He's not Lord Chaitanya at that time. He's the Supreme Lord. And then he began his Sankirtan movement. Nityananda Prabhu came from Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they met. And then they performed Sankirtan together. Everyone was intoxicated, but not everyone. One student, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was sitting, he was chanting the names of the gopis. He was in the mood actually of Srimati Radharani, longing for her friends. And he was chanting the names of the gopis. And one student came and said, what are you chanting the names of gopis for? Why don't you chant Krishna's name? We're supposed to chant Krishna's name. And Srimati Mahaprabhu, he was in this mood, like a leftish mood, at that time very annoyed with Krishna. So he said, Krishna, what's this Krishna? He picked up a stick and he chased the student. He wanted to beat the student. The student was furious. He couldn't understand Mahaprabhu's mood at all, Nimai Pandit's mood at all. He went and told the other students, and then there was going to be a riot. So Nimai Pandit said, if I remain a householder, the students and the atheists, they won't respect me. So I have to take sannyas. This is the external reason for his taking sannyas. So he decided to take sannyas, and he left. He was married. His wife Vishnu Priya was so devoted, totally devoted. His father has passed away, so there was no one to look after his mother. But still, one day, he just left. He left home without warning. And he went to Katwa. And there he met with Keshav Bharati, who... Keshav Bharati, although actually Gurudev has explained, he's actually a Vaishnava, but he'd taken sannyas from a Mayavadi. So it looked like he's a Mayavad sannyasi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, took sannyas from Keshav Bharati. Mayavad sannyas, Ekadanda. And then he went, Nityananda Prabhu tricked him. He wanted to go to Vrindavan, but Nityananda Prabhu tricked him. And instead of going to Vrindavan, he took him to Shantipur. And Advaita Acharya was there. Advaita Acharya called all the devotees, and they met with Nimai. Oh, they were so grief-stricken to see all his beautiful hair was gone, bald, and lovely clothes finished. So they had a festival there for a few days. Mother Shachi cooked for him. Only Vishnu Priya couldn't come, his beautiful wife. And then now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his sannyas name, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. So he went to Puri with Nityananda Prabhu and 2-3 others. In Puri he met with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I've related already. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a great Mayavad philosopher, impersonalist. And what that is we'll explain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted him completely. He gave up his impersonalism and he became devotee of Krishna. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he travelled in South India. He met with Ramananda Roy. Travelled in South India. And then after some years, 2, 3, 4 years, he came back to Puri. And then the devotees came from Navadvip, Mayapur, and they met there for the 4 months of the rainy season, and especially for Rath Yatra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced amazing, ecstatic Rath Yatra celebrations. And he gave a completely new mood to Rath Yatra. Previously it had Jagannath was on the Rath cart, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he introduced this idea that Jagannath is Krishna in Dwarka. And the Rath Yatra means that he's going to Gundicha, which is Vrindavan. And the gopis are pulling Krishna with the ropes of separation. So this was the mood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought to Rath Yatra. So he's dancing in ecstasy in the Rath Yatra festival. Singing songs in the mood of Srimati Radharani at Kurukshetra. Nobody could understand. Sarabdamodar Goswami, Lord Chaitanya's very, very intimate associate, he could understand, but he didn't tell anybody. But then one young, new devotee, Rupa Goswami, came. And he understood, and he wrote a beautiful verse expressing Srimati Radharani's mood at Kurukshetra. Oh, Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic when he read that verse. They had a meeting, and Rupa Goswami was validated as a wonderful Vaishnava poet. Not only poet, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam, to establish his mission in this world, Rupa Goswami. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after some time he went to Vrindavan. He met with Rupa Goswami in Puri after that. He went to Vrindavan, and then on the way back from Vrindavan he met with Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and he sent them to Vrindavan. So gradually the 6 Goswamis settled in Vrindavan, and they were practicing and writing and teaching there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meanwhile, he settled down in Puri. After some time, Advaita Acharya advised him that there's no need to continue, you don't have to worry about your Sankirtan mission anymore. Everyone's mad. They've all gone mad with love for Krishna. So you can concentrate on your inner mission, which is to taste the moods of Srimati Radharani. And after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't spend so much time with his devotees, but at night especially, with Ramananda Roy and Sarvadamodar Goswami, he was tasting the moods of Srimati Radharani. Deep, deep separation. Mad. He was going more and more and more mad. And finally, after only 48 years in this world, then one day he ran into the temple of Tota Gopinath. He never came out. When the devotees went, he wasn't to be seen at all. So that's a brief overview of some of the events in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. But what was his mission? What was his purpose for coming? What is his real identity? That we'll discuss later on. Hare Krishna.